toughest fighters that I've ever come across. And let's just say, Merab and I didn't get off on the right foot early on. I have nothing but respect for him and everything that he's accomplished. And yeah, and for Petr to come in and do what he did tonight. And I mean, the body shots and the head shots and the wrestling. I mean, it was an incredibly high level fight that was, what a hell of a way to end the ESPN era.
Congratulations on the victory, Peter. So if you had to choose, what do you think is the next step? A trilogy with Merab or a fight against Umar? And who do you think is a more dangerous opponent?
Вы же видели бой Мераба с Умаром. Вы видели, как он прошел, как он проходил.
But you saw the fight of Merab versus Umar. You saw the way that fight went. So who's more dangerous?
Они могут провести реванш, и мы посмотрим.
They can rematch, and then we can see what happens.
Вы просто, опять же, понимаете, чтобы я повторно подрался за пояс. 3 боя дали, чтобы я провел 3 боя. Очень долго я к этому шел, понимаете?
Just understand the fact that for me to get the opportunity to fight for the belt again, UFC made me go 3 more fights before I was able to get into the contender position again.
Great win, and he won that title fair and square. Blown away by the performance. I mean, a masterclass, if you will, but it will forever be dissected and debated whether or not this was the Petr Yan show or a little bit of a mistake on Merab Dvalishvili's part. Again, much dissected in its own right. 4 fights in 2025, the decision to come back so soon after the 5-round victory over Corey Sandhagen back in October. Did he take on too much? Too many weight cuts, too many rounds, too many minutes inside the octagon. Was this a mistake? And how much of that came into play here tonight in that performance? Because this was not the Merab that we have seen as of late. Failed many takedown attempts, looked tired, was getting beat up, was getting pieced on his feet. In fact, it looked like he was falling in love with the striking early on. And when I was watching that, I was thinking to myself, could this be part of his undoing?
Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan 2 is finally locked in the history books. The verdict is stamped, and now the real entertainment kicks in before the hype fades and the hot takes cool off. It's time to roll back the tape and see what the experts truly expected before everything played out under bright lights. Some predictions aged sharp, others aged like milk, and that contrast hits hard. So let's dive into the pre-fight noise and see who really understood the assignment back then. Michael Bisping had framed this rematch as a dangerous dream coming true for Petr Yan. Even though Yan was still in his physical prime and hungry for redemption, Bisping warned that Merab was a different kind of threat, a non-stop wrestler with endless gas in the tank. He praised Merab's mindset, his wild pace, and the way he kept marching forward no matter what. But he also questioned if going through so many intense camps in a single year might finally slow him down. Bisping still pointed out that Yan's sharper boxing, clean footwork, and natural pop could give him just enough edge if Merab's workload ever caught up to him.
You gotta remember, Petr Yan is still a man in his prime. He's still only 32 years old, and he has wanted nothing more than a rematch against Merab Dvalishvili. But be careful what you wish for, because Merab truly is that guy. Listen, he's the better wrestler. He's getting better all the time. But is he going to be a little bit burned out? That is the true risk here. Now, Merab seems like he's superhuman, right? And he kind of is in many ways. I'm a huge fan of the guy. I love the way he conducts himself. I love the way he carries himself. He's just an awesome human being. It seems like non-stop energy, always in a good mood. Ah, so good, so good. Shows up every single time, trying to finish fights constantly, non-stop output, takedowns, strikes, you name it. The man is always working. But that comes at a cost. And 4 training camps in a year, it's not crazy, but it is maybe a reason why Petr Yan might just be a little bit more explosive. He is probably the cleaner boxer on the feet.
But Bisping also made it crystal clear that, in his eyes, all the momentum was rolling behind Merab. He'd already solved Yan once, and Bisping believed that confidence, mixed with Merab's non-stop pressure, would carry him through the rematch again. He respected Yan's elite skill set and expected the former champ to find moments to land clean shots, forcing Merab to eat a few heaters along the way. Still, Bisping doubted those moments would be enough to flip the story. In his view, Merab was on the edge of a historic run, stacking potential title defenses within a single year and ready to jump straight back into action by spring because, as he put it, that's just the kind of machine Merab moved like.
Have the better footwork, but the momentum, mentally, metaphorically, physically, in any kind of shape or form, is all on the side of Merab Dvalishvili. And he's already beaten him once. He's already proven that he can go out there and beat him once. And I do believe that Merab will beat him once again. I think Petr will have some moments. He's a world-class fighter. He's a former champion. Of course, he's going to land some shots. You can't go in the rain without getting wet. You go in a world title fight against someone like Petr Yan, you're going to get cracked in the face. But will it be enough to beat Merab Dvalishvili? I don't think so. I think Merab makes history. I think he defends the belt 4 times in a calendar year. And I also think he's probably going to be back in the octagon at least by spring, because that's just the kind of cloth that he is cut from.
While Bisping heavily leaned toward Merab repeating history, Chael Sonnen looked at the matchup from a different angle entirely. He wasn't asking whether Yan could magically become an elite wrestler overnight. Chael straight up said that kind of evolution doesn't happen in one camp. Instead, he focused on something more realistic: Yan's bad habit of getting trapped against the fence. To Chael, that was the real battlefield. He believed that with a normal training block, Yan could sharpen his cage awareness, feel the fence behind him during exchanges, and slip out before Merab latched on. And if Yan ever touched the fence, Chael insisted he had to explode off it immediately, because hanging there basically invited Merab's pressure to swallow him again.
Needs to learn to stop these takedowns or go through some special wrestling camp, or cross his fingers and just hope that Merab shows up a little bit impaired. He doesn't have to do any of those things. Now he just needs to know to keep his shoulder and his back off the fence. That's a lot easier task. To understand that somebody's going to go into a training camp and they're going to learn wrestling, like we just tried to sell ourselves on that with Drickus versus Chimaev. What Drickus is going to fully focus on during this training camp for the next 7 weeks and 3 days before we get on the plane, he's going to focus on stopping takedowns. And it would take you closer to 7 years than it would 7 weeks. But we tried to sell ourselves and then we got reminded. But to believe that somebody could go into a 7 and 8 week training camp, is that enough time to keep your back off the fence? Yeah, it is, yeah. You start to learn as you're sparring, you're going backward, you start to learn where the ring is, and then you just move. Should you hit the fence, use that as a springboard. If you hit the fence and settle in, you're not going anywhere.
Picking up from that idea, Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson zoomed out and looked at the full picture. He noted that while Yan stayed active, he hadn't shown the kind of finishing danger needed to stop someone like Merab. Going 5 rounds was fine, DJ said, but nobody outworked the machine on the scorecards. He didn't see Yan suddenly out-wrestling him, and even in the striking, DJ felt the gap had closed. Merab's improved footwork, feints, timing, and constant drilling with high-level partners sharpened him all year long. To DJ, the rematch still leaned hard toward Merab's relentless style.
Petr Yan has been active, but he's on a 3-fight win streak. But you think about it, he hasn't finished anybody in a very, very long time. The last person he finished was Jose Aldo. So the good thing about that is that he can go 5 rounds. He can push all 5 rounds, and he's beaten people through unanimous decision. The bad thing is that nobody out-decisions the machine, right? If you're going to beat Merab, you got to put his lights out. Is Petr Yan going to be able to out-grapple Merab? No. He wasn't able to do it the first time they fought. Is he going to be able to out-strike Merab? That's kind of hard because Merab is getting better on the feet. He's believing himself. And Merab is so good about measuring that distance in the void and making sure he doesn't get hit when he comes across it. He's so good about getting there with his He looks down, he looks up, he has those little kicks, and he also trains with Aljamain Sterling. He trains at 10th Planet. He's got a lot of good athletes around him to get him ready for this fight.
DJ doubled down by stressing that Merab only needed to stick to what he already did best. He'd been in there with Yan before and showed he could survive every phase of the fight, so repeating that familiar game plan was enough. In DJ's eyes, that experience and precision gave Merab a clear edge, and he even suggested it placed Merab among the top pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. Every key to victory was already built into Merab's natural style, and DJ believed that was more than enough to carry him to another big win.
The key to victories for Merab Dvalishvili. Key to victory number 1, Merab. All the key to victory for Merab. Just do what you do best. That's it. So guys, after all that, who do I have winning this fight between Merab Dvalishvili versus Petr Yan? I'm going to go with Merab Dvalishvili, the machine. Now, I know when I said the keys to victory, I gave you only one. It's because Merab knows what he's doing. Like, he says it. He told me off camera and on camera. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to fight. He knows how to navigate a fight. And so that's the only thing he needs to do is navigate that fight. He's already fought Petr Yan. He's already beat him. With everything said, I would say he's probably the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
On the other side, Max Holloway acknowledged Yan's slick striking and strong grappling, but he emphasized that Merab's pace was a whole different type of pressure. Merab pushed nonstop, mixing takedowns, shots, and feints, barely showing any fatigue. Holloway pointed out that even when Yan landed clean, Merab had proven he could take it and keep storming forward. Anyone facing Merab had to survive a full 25-minute hurricane. Since Merab already beat Yan once, Holloway felt the odds leaned clearly toward the machine again.
Petr Yan, very great grappling, very good takedown defense, very good striking. A lot of people loves Peter's boxing. His boxing is super slick. But it is hard to go against Merab, bro. Merab is, like I said, is gonna shoot 100 times in a fight. It's ridiculous. Dude seems to not get tired. Did get hurt early on in his career with punches and stuff. Can Peter hurt him? For sure. Did we see him get hurt? Did we see Merab get hurt recently? No. This is, anybody going against Merab, you know what you're in for. You're in for, 25 minutes if it goes that long of just constant pressure, constant coming for, constant feints, constant throwing your hands up, throwing strikes, going to a shot, boom, back out, punching, back to a shot. It's just ridiculousness. A lot of energy in there. Merab being almost a minus 500 is, is well deserved, against a guy that he already beat. I understand it. This thing is just, is Peter going to be able to defend? And not only defend, because how much time we saw, Merab shoots 50 times and he only gets like maybe 10 of the shots. Like he only gets 10 takedowns.
Holloway said Merab would come out pushing the tempo immediately, crowding Yan from the opening bell. And while Yan could always land something that changed everything, Merab's cardio, forward pressure, and constant threats made the fight a nightmare to breathe in. Even when takedowns failed, Merab came right back with strikes and mixed looks that kept opponents guessing and stressed the entire time.
I think Merab does what Merab does. He gets in. He's going to get in Petr Yan's face. It's going to be a hell of a fight. He's just going to be gas, unless Peter can catch him with something, bro. This is MMA, bro. Anybody can catch anyone. Petr Yan can fight Merab's chin. We might see a new champion, but with Merab's, cardio and tenacity and just him, that forward pressure, bro, it's just so annoying, man. I guarantee it's so annoying of someone shooting so much time. And he's not just shooting, bro. Like, what you guys don't see, like, he's coming off of the shots, off the failed shots, and punching. Like, you guys, like, for defensive guys, yeah, we want to punch and make them pay back too, but we're still thinking of, like,
John Wood stepped in and emphasized that Merab wasn't just a grinder. He had legit finishing tools. Years of sharpening his striking, submissions, and power had boosted his confidence, and key wins made him believe even more in those weapons. While Yan remained a world-class competitor, Wood felt Merab was fully prepared to come out aggressive and hunt to finish instead of relying on a drawn-out grind, with every strike and submission repped for this exact moment. Sean O'Malley then added his take, giving Merab the advantage while respecting Yan's danger. He highlighted Merab's improved power and sharper combos, noting that even though Yan's speed and counters could punish mistakes, Merab's fight IQ kept him from overcommitting. O'Malley believed that unless Merab got reckless, he would dominate, and a win would have crowned him Fighter of the Year with 4 title defenses in one season, a rare achievement. Right after that, Robert Whittaker gave his perspective, admitting Yan could always land a crazy moment, like timing a knee as Merab shot in, but outside of a freak shot, he didn't see the rematch turning Yan's way. Whittaker pointed out Merab had become cleaner defensively, more confident mixing striking with level changes, and once he landed takedowns, it opened the striking effortlessly. That same blueprint worked on Corey Sandhagen and every other fighter trying to match his rhythm. Whittaker closed by saying the only way to beat Merab was to match his insane engine, and he didn't see any version of Yan capable of outrunning that pressure. Meanwhile, Luke Thomas reflected on the rematch by noting both fighters entered their first fight compromised, Yan with limited use of one hand, Merab dealing with injuries of his own. He suggested the new fight might be slightly more competitive or slower in spots, but Merab's relentless engine, elite wrestling, sneaky judo trips, and control on the mat still kept him in firm command. Having already gone 25 minutes with Yan, Thomas believed Merab's experience and overall skill set made him almost untouchable, unless someone beat him decisively. MMA Guru also weighed in, saying he didn't think Merab deserved to be such a heavy favorite. Minus 400 felt extreme. Even though Merab had dominated the first fight with non-stop takedowns, he'd leaned more into striking since then, which could make the rematch tighter. Still, his cardio and physical presence were wild, and he kept moving forward with no fear. Yan, on the other hand, defended takedowns well, scrambled up, and even landed one of his own while fighting with a nasty eye injury from a head clash. According to MMA Guru, the fight had the potential to be way closer than the betting line suggested. So what do you think? Who came closest with their prediction? Did the outcome satisfy you? And did this rematch live up to the expectations? Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit subscribe for more breakdowns like this.